today I'm doing a very interesting project that I've been trying to finish for the past couple of days. It includes Angular 1.5 components, but however, every time I try to finish it, in the end, I end up with an error of module not found. So today, I decided I'm going to redo the whole project. I'm gonna start from scratch, because I just cannot figure out what the problem is. Honestly, I just can't. So yeah, I'm gonna start. This is a song. This is a good song. Hi. Today, I'm working on a small project. I'm working on a small project with Angular 1.5 specifically 1.5 components. So we have Angular 2, which has been fairly transformed into component based, and it's using TypeScript and all that. So it's completely different from Angular 1. Everybody knows that. Now with Angular 1.5, what they did is they created something similar to kind of teach you into Angular 2. So it's still Angular 1, but it uses the components based structure of Angular 2. Anyway, so here's what they say. So let's say you have Angular 1, Angular 1.5, Angular 2.0, voila. What we have here, this is your normal framework. And you have here, what if you think about it, in the movie Karate Kid, that some people say, what I've heard is that Angular 1.5 is the Miyagi, not the Miyagi, the Miyagi for the Karate Kid. So this is the Karate Kid. This is the, I don't know, he's trying to, he's trying to kill someone, or he's trying to, defend himself. But and then this is 1.5 is the teacher. Miyagi. This is the teacher basically, and in a way, what this part is using something called components. And there's a lot of things that are introduced in components. You have bindings. We pretty much don't have scope at this point. However, scope is still accessible, but you don't really have scope. So it's mainly using simply the controller. So the controller as. And the whole point of it is to take these little pieces of an application, and all of these little pieces, component, bigger component. So we're building our application with a bunch of components basically. And in a way, it kind of replaces directives, but directives with Angular 1 was very difficult. Not very difficult, but difficult to understand, difficult to implement. There's a lot of, you have your linking function and all that. None of that anymore. No more linking function. Now you simply have a controller and that's it. So very useful, and we're just gonna get right into it. So here's our application, Angular 1.5 component based app. The link to this webpage will be in the application if you want to follow me along. But again, the whole point of me doing this is to show how it is to create an application with component based, because I know how Angular 1 is done. I've done applications in Angular 1. I've seen people do applications in Angular 1 and how they structure it. And I want to see how you can structure it using the components, which is introduced in Angular 1.5. To see how the structure, how it's laid out, and how do people, if it actually makes sense to go that route. So let's just get started. GoatLove, this is what it's called. We're going to be creating a dating app for goats, which is obviously something you need in this world. The goats do not receive much love anymore, so we need to create them a dating application. Alrighty, so you can read through this. I'm not going to read through this all. I've actually done this tutorial probably 5 times already, because I've had one big problem, which I will show later on. You can read through this, He talks about how React uses Angular components, and how Angular 2 uses Angular components, and how they do this in Angular 1.5, and so on, and blah 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 blah. So our GoatLove app will contain a list of goats with some details like age, name, about info, and photo. We will allow our clients to create a new entry. For simplicity's sake, and for the sake of goats with no Wi-Fi connection, our creation page will allow creating multiple Goat profiles with no login needed. Yes, obviously, because goats do not have Wi-Fi. So in writing component-based apps, it is important to visualize your different app components up front. So here's our awesome GoatLove layout. So, and as you can see, we have the Goat app, which is the main, the parent. We have navigation component, we have the homepage component, and within that you have the Goat listings, you have the Goat list, the list time component, and to the right side you have the profile creator page and the Goat forward component. And all of these are actually components. And then he talks about how some are smart and some are dumb components. These dumb components are the ones that are simply receiving information. The smart components are the ones who are interacting, so getting information from the service and then updating the information in the service and so on. So when you get started, the first thing that you'll do is actually download something called ng6 Starter, which is created by a great team. And here it is. Let's go ahead and open this link up. And take a look at it. It allows us it creates a basic starter application with Angular, ES6, and Webpack. Webpack is something that combines our components together, so we have all these different components laid out, and it will combine all this one in this one application for us to obviously to run. ES6 is ES6, and Angular is Angular. Nothing too out of the box. And I think this is great what they have done here. And let's just go ahead and run through this. Okay, so getting started, install it, npm install, and then npm install dependencies. We're going to simply clone it, first we're going to create a folder, then we're going to clone it, then we're going to install dependencies, and we're just going to start coding. Blah blah, let's clone this one. Let's go ahead and copy that. I'm gonna go in the folder, I've test. Alrighty. Angular 1.5. Boom. Let's go ahead within this one. I'm going to actually clone it. So new term node folder, git clone. For those of you who are using Windows, you probably can also you would have to install Git, and there's a bunch of tutorials on how to install Git on your Windows machine or on your Mac machine at that point. So let's go ahead and git clone this one. Okay, that's done. Let's access it. Here's what we have. We have the ng6 Starter SaaS class. Great. Let's go ahead and npm install all this stuff. So ls to see what we have. npm ng boom. Let's cd into the directory. npm install it. I'm not going to install everything because I have it already installed. So I'm going to install the Webpack mainly. Now you can also install Karma. Karma is for testing, so we're not going to be testing here, but Karma is used for testing. Gulp though is very important, so Gulp and Webpack are the ones that are two very important things. So I'm just going to do npm install -g Webpack because I already have Gulp. npm install -g Webpack. There you go. And then you do npm install. And npm install simply installs all the dependencies for that application within the package.json file, which I will show in a second. Now, if you do not, if you do not have npm, you can download npm from simply node.js.org. Again, link in the description. Cool. Alrighty, what else do we say? It says to install npm node sass, so sass is for css, so we are going to install that as well. And then we are going to install npm install file URL loader, which I still haven't figured out what it does. The two loaders for a webpack that config. Awesome. Did I install file? Yes. Okay. And then in our webpack, so let's actually open up the file that we've got there. We've got a file in here. File open. I'm going to open this file, Angular 1.5, ng6 Starter SaaS. Sweet. So so this is the package.json file that I talked about. You see all these dependencies? All these dependencies is what's installed in the no modules file, right? In the no modules folder. As you can see here, blah blah blah. Look at all this, a lot. And the webpack, the config file, let's actually input whatever it is that we're told. So this is, I'm guessing, used for importing. So this will handle our fun loading when importing Bootstrap. I mean, according to what it says. So let's go ahead and do that. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Sweet. Okay, let's go back, and we can just do gulp serve to actually see how it looks like. So let's in here gulp serve inside the terminal. Gulp serve, and it will launch. Copy this. I want to copy this. Yeah, don't. Cool. Alright, and if we just go here, voila! We got ourselves an application. It's not very fancy, obviously, but you know, it's an application, so. Alrighty, let's take a look at this. We're gonna make it a lot fancier, I promise. So that is the end of part 1 for this tutorial. Angular GoatLove application. Still a funny name, I think. But I want to try and do this tutorial in four videos, hopefully 10 minutes each. I don't want to make them too long. But other than that, hopefully the next tutorial is either linked or will be linked tomorrow. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day and stay happy, developers.